Parkinson's is the second most common neurodegenerative disease that currently affects about 1 million folks living in the United States. And it is projected that the number of people living with Parkinson's will double in the next 20 years as simply a reflection of the aging of the population. We have a substantial amount of effective treatment options to treat the symptoms of the disease. However, where we're still lacking is curing the disease. Ultimately, there is no curative therapy for the disease or therapeutic interventions that would slow progression of the disease. Parkinson's is largely perceived as the disorder of motor ability, difficulty with walking, stiffness, slowness, tremor. And these are all the core motor manifestations of the disease. However, the disease is associated with a whole spectrum of what we refer to as non-motor signs of the disease, including depression, sometimes cognitive impairment, change of bowel, bladder control, sleep, which, based on all the research and survey of the patients living with the disease, actually have larger impact on their quality of life than the primary manifestations of the disease. So, what do we have to help? As I have indicated, we have a large armamentarium of medications to treat the symptoms. And Parkinson's is ahead of the other chronic diseases, neurological diseases. Medications work very effectively to improve the motor ability, specifically in the early stages of the disease. Where we're missing is management of some of the other aspects of the disease, specifically cognitive impairment, balance problems, uneven response to medications that comes with the more advanced stages of the disease. And they have been made substantial strides over the last year. There have been 3 new Parkinson's medications approved in the field. One of them is advanced therapy for management of uneven response to the medications. Another one for management of changes of the blood pressure control, which is very important for the quality of life of the people living with the disease. There have been new surgical interventions. So all of that are significant strides. Where does Northwestern pride ourselves? Again, we clearly understand that until the moment there is cure for the disease, it's all about improving the quality of life of the person and their families. And we take it very much to the heart of our program. Our program offers multidisciplinary, comprehensive team of experts that includes clinicians, neurosurgeons if surgical intervention is appropriate, social worker who is essential for helping to navigate the maze of the healthcare, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, all work together in reaching the common goal. Northwestern has been one of the pioneers in putting together the model of comprehensive rehabilitation team that has expertise in management of the disease. And essentially every patient is offered such evaluation as part of their management. We very much believe in wellness approach, and discussion about exercise, active lifestyle is an essential part of our quote-unquote prescription for management of the disease. One of the novel treatments being offered as of the last year for Parkinson's disease is infusion through the stomach tube of a medication that provides steady levels of dopamine, which is the core neurochemical that is deficient in the brain of a person with Parkinson's disease. And that always has been the core treatment approach that is known as carbidopa-levodopa, or brand name Sinemet, that has been true breakthrough for the last 50 years. However, based on the nature of the disease, with the progression of the disease, the patients might have uneven response to medication, which means that they can have good motor control for a couple of hours, and then as the level of medication wears off in the system, they can have recurrence of the symptoms that can be quite bothersome for them. And that is what is called motor fluctuations. So what the therapy offers is continuous delivery of the medication. It does come at a price. It requires putting a stomach tube. It requires management of that pump. So it definitely is not the first line therapy, but for the people who experience these quite bothersome symptoms, it definitely is and can be quite a viable therapeutic option, and comes as a choice to an alternative approach, which is surgical management of the disease, which is putting brain electrodes. So again, both procedures are advanced procedures. Both are offered at major Parkinson's centers around the world, and each of them has its pros and cons. The gold standard remains the oldest drug and the most effective therapy, which is dopamine replacement therapy in the form of the pill preparation of carbidopa-levodopa, which provides ultimately replacement of that dopamine deficiency. Ultimately, every person with Parkinson's disease will be treated with one or the other preparation of levodopa. The drug generally is well tolerated, specifically in early phases of the disease. However, again, the major limitation is loss of that even persistent response to the medicine. So I talked about the most advanced therapy. The other new therapy that has been approved on the market is extended release preparation of carbidopa-levodopa, known under the brand name of Rytary, which, while not providing that continuous 24-hour benefit, extends the efficacy of the previously available medication. Successful treatment always is the one that affords the person living with the disease to have the best quality of life and achieve their life goals at whatever level those are, with a minimum of the side effects. And again, ultimately for any disease, the goal is the cure. In absence of the cure, one of the hottest areas of research in Parkinson's is developing of what is called disease-modifying therapies, treatment that, if not cure, slow the progression of the disease. And that's where we don't have such treatment today. That's where the most active research is happening, and Northwestern definitely, legitimately is at the front line of that research. We are spearheading and running a national study, phase 3 study of a potential drug to slow the progression of the disease. And the most exciting part of that program is that the drug that is being tested in phase 3 study is the ultimate win or lose study. It has been characterized for its effectiveness in Parkinson's at Northwestern in the lab of Dr. Surmaier, who is heading the Department of Physiology. So that is truly an example of direct collaboration between the basic scientists and clinical investigators in our effort to bring the therapeutics closer to the patient ultimately. And the other advantage of this molecule, it's the drug that is approved for another indication. It has been on the market for treatment of blood pressure for a while, so we know the safety profile of the drug, and if effective, it could be more readily brought into the market. The study has completed recruitment of the patients. We still will not know the results for a couple of years, but we certainly are very hopeful.